Hello everybody, my name is BearCozy, and today I wanted to do a guide on Void Tower, Hard Void Tower, Floor 10. Now I know Floor 10 is a sticky point for some people because of Dark Nicklaus, and the enemies are Dark Nicklaus, Jacob, Boolin, and Vidar. So I wanted to do a quick Floor 10 guide on this. I have purposely paused here to make sure that I record this and help anybody that is stuck. And then, of course, we're going to continue climbing. But first, what I want to do first is I want to go ahead and pull the shards. I want to pull my daily shard. Right now, there's a boosted chance, and I always take advantage of the free daily summon. It's only one shard, but that does end up to be about 30 per month, which is very, very nice. Now, Vought is okay. I am coming up on 75 shards. I'm going to see if I can get some more. And then in the next video or two, we are going to do some advanced summons. And then I want to do some limited summons as well, because I could really use Brand. And right now, I'm not crazy about Hydricia. But if I pull Hydricia, I have like 4 copies of her already. She's already like A4. So if I get it to A5, that would be really, really good. So with that out of the way, I want to save the rest of the shards for the shard pulling video. And then, of course, I'm coming up on Magic Pass 40, and I'm going to be able to claim myself one more, and then there's one more at 50. And then I'll see if I can get a couple more so we can get to 100 very soon. So with that out of the way, let's go back to dungeons. Let's go to Void Tower. I purposely stopped on Hard Void Tower Floor 10 so I can do a guide. A lot of my friends have been struggling, and this is the first sticky point. Now, the first 9 floors are actually not too bad. They can be a little bit challenging, but they're not too bad. Right now, the rune marks are grants 20% enemy attack upon hero death, and enemy defense is increased by 50%. If the enemy is affected by defense down, the rune mark is invalid for the duration of the defense down. So that actually works really well. So let's go ahead and go into this, and we'll talk about this. Now, here is my typical team. Brand, Nathalia, Zatlux, and Lunar Mel. You don't need Zatlux. Zatlux is just there to clean up the waves. Evira works really, really good. Evira is great. Sierra is great. Sierra and Evira don't have gear. I need to. I don't have enough gear for everyone. I don't. I really don't. I'm using Garel right now. I could probably take Garel's gear, put it on Evira, or put it on Sierra. However, I'm really using Garel in Clan Boss, and I have a lot of water heroes. Cyrus is geared, Opal is mediocrely geared, and of course, I just don't have enough gear for everybody. So Urzag's got really bad gear, and I'm still struggling. I just geared Jacob and Scarlet for the Light Banker, which is, of course, the Clan Boss. I am planning on pulling some more limited summons, and if I get another Hydricia, I'm trying to figure out how I'm not only going to level Hydricia, but what I'm going to put her in. I might have to strip a few heroes. I got so many heroes that I could level, but I just don't have enough gear. And as much dungeons as I run, I still don't have enough good gear. All right, so here's the team. Brand, Nathalia, Zatlux, and Lunar Mel. Brand is here primarily to keep everybody alive and to activate Nathalia's trait. You don't need these two. They are good. You can use Connor. If you have Connor, you can use Winstrix to help you go faster. Brand is just there for added survivability, but of course it makes the team a little slower. Zatlux, you don't really need. You can use Evira, you can use Sierra, you can use Valeria. He's just there to clear waves. And Lunar Mel is there primarily for the bosses, to keep the team alive, to lock out their ultimates. So basically, my team doesn't die. I just did a video guide on a Hero Spotlight guide on Lunar Mel, showing off where she's really, really good. I can put that thumbnail up right up there, so you can feel free to check out the video. I will also link it in the description below if I remember. So let's go ahead and go into this. We're going to do Hard Void Tower Floor 10. This is the very first sticky point, and we're going to start here. Now, here's what I typically do. For me, this is how it works. What I like to do is, since there's 3 waves, and I need Lunar Mel's ultimate for the last wave, I like to either, we can go ahead and stun these guys, or what we can do is we can just use her basic. Now, Call of the King, we're going to use right away because that should be up by the time we get to the last wave, which is going to be very, very nice. And then, of course, that gives Nathalia some buffs, so that way, hopefully, she can wipe the team, and we can wipe the enemy team, and we can move on to wave 2. So, primarily, I use everyone's basic unless there are 3 waves. Nathalia's trait gets reset, or Nathalia's ultimate gets reset, if she kills anybody. So, of course, we're going to go in with that. We're going to kill everybody, and then we're going to continue. If it did not get reset, or if you have a hero that does not use their ultimate, you can always use Zatlux, you can always use Evira, Valeria. Bring 2 damage dealers like I have, And if Nathalia gets stunned for any reason or her ultimate does not get reset for any reason, I can always use Zatlux, and that is the plan going in here. So what I'm going to do is use the basic on Lunar Mel. Brand is sleeping. That's not ideal. So here's what I am going to do. Right now, there's not really a lot. I don't... This is a little tricky because they all targeted Nathalia. Let's go ahead and use our ultimate. Let's see if we can kill at least one. Hopefully it'll get reset. Zatlux will be able to clean everybody up. Thank God she killed somebody. That was very surprising they all went for Nathalia because Brand got stunned, so he wasn't able to do anything. However, this is why we got Zatlux. Antonua will work in here as well. I'm sure there's lots of different heroes. I don't have all of them. I am not a major whale, but I do make do with what I have. I make what I have work. So, getting to wave 3, Dark Nicklaus. First things first. You need somebody with a taunt skill, preferably AoE. Lunar Mel works really good. Bruzak works really well as well. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to use Sundering Purgatory with Lunar Mel because she has the most focus, so that has the most chance to land. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to AoE taunt everybody so I can lock out all of their skills so they don't nuke my team. Now, the reason I use Lunar Mel is, as I mentioned, to keep my team alive. You don't need Lunar Mel if you can nuke your way through these guys. If you can just blast them sky high, kill everybody in 1 turn or 1.5 turns, something like that. You don't really need a taunt. Because Lunar Mel taunts everybody, she takes all the damage. And then, of course, she's in a revival set, which helps her sustain, helps her survive. And that makes sure my team stays alive, especially my damage dealers. As you can see, Nathalia is almost halfway. So if she dies, the run is over. So that is my way of protecting Nathalia. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use Brand's ultimate here. We're going to take off this debuff on Lunar Mel. That should have actually came off there. That is very interesting because his ultimate does take 1 debuff off. I'm not sure why this decreased defense didn't come down. But we are going to go ahead and use Nathalia. And Nathalia is, of course, our AoE nuker. Even though she's single target, her trait allows her to be an AoE nuker. And what we're going to do is we're going to nuke everybody and see who's left standing. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to save this Water Prison and the stun from Lunar Mel for Dark Nicklaus when he pops his trait. And I'm going to show you that right now. Let's go ahead and pop his trait, and maybe we can just... We're not going to be able to kill him here, but I want to get him down to 0, down to 1%. There we go. Now, as you can see, Dark Nicklaus popped Death Immunity, and that has 3 strikes. Of course, I think it starts with 4, and Zatlux is in a curse set, and he actually attacked once. So what we're going to do, since everybody's taunted, what we're going to do is we're going to save our stun, our javelin from Lunar Mel, and I'm just going to use the basic. And the idea here is to keep taking down this Death Immunity, right? Death Immunity means his health cannot drop below 1%, which means that if he's not taunted and he uses his ultimate, most likely half of your team is dead. So right now, he needs 3 more hits to get that off. If he was not taunted, I would use the stun here, which is the special from Lunar Mel. But he is taunted right now, so I am just going to use the basic. There we go. We got 2 hits left. This is going to do 1 hit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to save the Water Prison stun for the next turn. And maybe we'll get a counterattack with Brand. Boom. Brand actually takes that off. That is absolutely fantastic. And let's see, since Dark Nicklaus is down to 1%, let's see if Brand can just finish him off. And there we go. Just like that. So if he wasn't that close, if your team doesn't do as much damage, what you would do is you would use the Water Prison, and we can use that on Bulin. And of course, the Water Prison actually takes not only the one buff off, used to take all of them, now it takes 1 buff, but it also stuns. So that is a really, really good way to control Dark Nicklaus as well. No matter if there's still 2 or 3 hits you need to do to take off the Death Immunity, the Water Prison spell will actually take 1 of those off, and he will get stunned as well, so that will buy you 1 more turn. And that is exactly why I like Water Prison, and I like Lunar Mel in here. And then, of course, with the other 2 dead, this is very, very easy, and we're going to complete it just like that. So that is why I like Lunar Mel. The whole idea is control, right? Especially with Dark Nicklaus, because if he unloads his AoE, most likely your team is dead. Now, Nathalia and Zatlux, we can go look at their gear. They do really good damage, so it does help me to get through. That is floor 10. He does get a little bit harder on going up. We see him again, I believe, later on. He does get a little bit harder, but this is the first sticky point, and this is what I wanted to talk about. Of course, floor 11 through floor 20 is not too bad. I'm going to continue climbing a little bit, and then we got our rewards. We're going to claim those together as well. I want to make sure. I only got 5 days left. I want to make sure I don't miss those. I'm going to continue climbing, and then we'll do a floor 20 guide a little bit later in the next video or the video after that, after the shard pulls. But right now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and look at their gear. Hey, you're still watching the video. That means you're enjoying the content. And if you're enjoying the content, that means somebody else will also. Click the subscribe button below and help this video reach more people so they can enjoy it as well. So right now, if we look at Brand, the idea here is survival. He is in a revival set and he's in a raider set primarily so he can buff my team before they go, and primarily so he can buff the damage dealers before they go. Now, Lunar Mel is a little bit faster than Brand. I would have liked Brand to go a little bit faster, but that is A-okay because when Lunar Mel taunts, she is actually 200, and I'm not going to be able to get Brand to 200 speed in Revival. I already know that, especially with no Ascensions. So if we look at his stats, as I mentioned, he's at 152, 22,000 HP, not a whole lot. I can do better, but it does help. And I am going to work on ascending him because if we ascend him to A2, his shield will get much bigger, and that will help us. That will give us a lot more survivability as well. Moving on to who's the next one. As I've mentioned, Evira is not geared at all. She doesn't have any gear. Neither does Sierra. You can use Sierra. You can use Valeria. Garel will work. Antonua will work. Urzag will work. I mean, there's a million heroes that will work in here. Hydrissia will work. She's not built out. And, of course, if you do have Marion Shadowblood, she will work as well. So the next one up, where's the next one? Lunar Mel, I just showed off. I just made a hero showcase on Lunar Mel. She is in a revival set and a raider set to give her a little bit of boosted speed because I want her going fast. I want her locking out the enemy abilities. And I use her primarily in Void Tower and I use her in Arena. She is my MVP. Here is the stats. Here are our stats. 14k health, 200 speed, and 93 focus. Primarily, this is all I'm looking for. Some survivability, some defense, and enough focus to land the AoE taunts and to make her fast enough so she can go first before the enemy team to lock out their ultimate abilities. And then, of course, she is in Raider Speed Boots. It took me some time to farm those. They rolled horrible, but she is in Speed Boots. And everything else here has speed substats except for the top two, right? The Raider Hood and the chest piece don't get speed substats at all, but the weapons got 2 rolls, and the necklace and the ring have 2 rolls of speed as well. And then, of course, she's in Speed Boots, and her glyphs are all maxed out. Going forward to Nathalia is the next one up. Glyphs maxed out. Gear, she is in a warrior set, and that's it. She's a little bit of kind of mix and match here, but I did that on purpose because not only is she crit rate capped, but her crit damage is at 268, which is really, really good for me. It's nowhere near 300, but I feel like this has been a challenge to get here. She's a little slow, but she is tuned for Ash Magisteria 12 because I can't do 13. And I've been running Ash a little bit. Primarily, I run Queen of Tides. So she is tuned at 135 for Ash Magisteria 12. And if I want to make her faster, I will have to find some speed boots that give me enough crit rate and crit damage to stay crit rate capped, and I can do that, and then I can play around with the rest of it, and when I'm ready, I will change her gear up. Right now it works. The last but not least is Zatlux, my favorite hero. Zatlux not only looks amazing, but he is awesome. He is 2 stars ascended. I do have 1 more ascension for him. That will give him more speed. However, that will mess up my arena team, so right now I'm holding off. If we look at his gear, he is in a curse set. Does he need to be? No. He does not need to be in a curse set. Warrior set is very, very good for him. Does not need to be in a curse set. Doesn't really do much for him. However, the only reason he is in a curse set is because of his stats. He only needs 70% crit rate, which he is, and because of his passive, he is capped. His passive gives him 30, plus the 70 from gear, that gives him 100%. And his crit damage is at 273. And by the way, his speed is 1 slower than Nathalia because I did that on purpose to make him go right after Nathalia nukes in Arena. Now, once I get some speed boots on Nathalia and make her a lot faster, I will go ahead and I will ascend Zatlux one more time to give him another 15, and that'll take him to 149, which is going to be really nice. So the only reason he isn't a curse set is because that is the best stats that I could do. I was not trying to get him in a curse set. It just happened. And when I tried out different pieces of gear, that is the highest amount of crit damage I could get him in. And then, of course, attack is almost 3,800, so that's pretty good. So there is his stats. You don't need this much crit damage, by the way. You do not need it. Anything over 200% crit damage should be enough for Hard Void Tower. You might have to take one more extra turn to get through the waves, so be mindful of that. But if they are a little bit faster than my team, you'll take a lot less damage. So it is a delicate balance between taking damage and dishing out damage. So the only reason I have crit damage, I've tried to push crit damage as much as I can, is for Arena. And, you know, that's basically it. So there it is. As I mentioned, there are lots of other options you can use. I'm sure you can use William. I'm sure people are using Hydricia. Hydricia is really, really good. I got a lot of copies of her somehow. I don't know how, but got a lot of copies of her. The next one is the speed, of course, and I do need one more copy of Hydricia. I am going to be saving this Legendary Arcana. So if we do some summons and I get one more copy of Hydricia, that will make her a lot faster, and then I can go ahead and gear her and glyph her. So there it is. There is the guide on floor 10 in Hard Void Tower, and we're going to continue doing these. We're going to go through floor 20, floor 30, and up until I get stuck. I am still working on gear, but I am progressing really, really well through Hard Void Tower. And of course, I just made a video with Zatlux soloing a lot of the normal Void Tower as well. I probably could have recorded for longer, but it does take a long time for him to solo floors. So I believe I stopped right around 25 or 30, and then I cut the video. I came back on like floor 50 or 60 and added a couple more heroes in it just for the speed of it, because it does take too long and I have to sit here and wait and watch him, and then I have to cut that out of the video. So it does take a long time. But there it is. There is the guide on Hard Void Tower. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to continue making these. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope they help. Do me a huge favor, hit the like and the subscribe down below. These videos take a long time to make and also edit, and I do make lots of them. I thank you for watching. As always, leave me a nice comment down below. Let's start a conversation. Say hello. I will do my best to reply. Let me know where you are on Void Tower, whether you're in hard or normal, and I'll do my best to help you progress. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.